Right, okay, let's go on to the next guy in our rookie draft series, which is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, many people's favourite, particularly in the fantasy community, to go 101 in the rookie draft. But
it's often the case, isn't it, Al? I mean, when you get a player come in and have a combine like this guy's had, plus his pedigree, I mean, he had two 2,000-yard seasons back-to-back, so certainly a quality player. You put the combine together and people are naturally going to get very excited about a player like this.
I mean, you've raised a few issues. There's a very interesting, I mean, particularly, and a few other people are mentioning it now, about his fumbling stats. I mean, that's something he's going to have to iron out.
Yeah, you'll get told, because people, I mean, often in cases, and this is very easily done, and this is why, this separates podcasters. I think this is the key, really, is it's very easy for someone to make a sweeping statement, and that's what a lot of people do, and particularly when you're, into fantasy, into your drafts, you'll kind of hear what other people are saying and then pick up on that. So all you'll hear is all the great talk about Jonathan Taylor. But there is a big red flag. His fumbling issues are massive. He had 900 carries, so you'd expect some. But it actually works out to be one fumble in every 51 plays. And that's hugely significant coming into the NFL.
You can't get away with that in the NFL, can you? So
that's one every 2 games. Now, that doesn't sound like... That sounds like that's quite bad. So that is bad, actually. If he goes to the wrong team with the wrong quarterback, maybe a young quarterback who's already got, isn't bedded in the NFL, so we don't know quite where that person is, and they have a tough year coupled with his fumbling issues, that's a recipe for not good. That's not good. That's not what you want. Now, people might argue that that's being unfair. He had 925 carries, 1 in every 51 carries. That's
not a small sample size, is it, really?
That's not small. And if you put that into relationship to another guy like Dobbins, who's the best in the class, 1 in every 145.
Okay. I mean, you're not saying he's a bust, because he's obviously got undoubted talent.
No, far from it. I'm just saying there is a
red flag.
There's a red flag, and it depends on situation. Situation will be massive here. You couple him with the wrong scenario, that could be really bad for him.
Would be Atlanta obviously are a team that are caught in a running back, and so Miami. So Tampa. So where would be a good fit for him?
Well, I'd love him to go to Atlanta, if I'm honest. I think it's the perfect situation for a pounding running back, because we're not sure yet of what kind of ability this guy's got catching the ball. There's some skill there. And again, catching's coachable. There is a certain amount of absolute natural talent. But when we're talking running backs, we're talking about often the passes are quite close. So, his sample size is small. So what I've seen, there's something coachable there. For the big man, he's certainly capable. His fumbles worry me, but you put him in Atlanta, give him a lot of games in a dome, and give him a situation where he can pound the ball and you can stretch the field all over. I think that's a recipe for success. I think he'd do exceptionally well in a situation like that.
What I really did like about him when I watched his tape is his ability to actually hit and find holes. I mean, he was amazing at that. He wasn't running through big gaps like you see a lot of these sort of. College running backs are running through massive holes where, basically anyone could run through them because they were that wide. But this guy...
He's the definition out of a beast. He is the true definition of an absolute beast. If you want Derrick Henry 2.0, there's your man right there. There's a guy capable of anything coming into the NFL. I think, the sky's the limit for this guy. Is he a 2,000-yard capable NFL running back in the right situation? Absolutely. So no way are we saying this guy's a bust. Absolutely not. He's very capable.
Just be mindful of the fumbling issue, I suppose.
It's just about its situation. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem if he went to Atlanta. That wouldn't scare me off taking him in rookie drafts at all. I've got no fear of Gurley. So we all know what I think of him from last year. None of that's changed. And I think even, Rams shipped him off. That tells you an awful lot. So I think we all know. We know where this is heading. So if he goes in a situation like that, that's exceptionally good.
Yeah, and Gurley's got a 1-year prove-it deal, hasn't he? So it's not like it's long-term. So
no.
But it might affect him in redraft, obviously. It's probably going to affect him.
Yeah, there would, you would expect him to share the load. But, it wouldn't hugely surprise me. Even in redraft, I might not be that scared of taking a Taylor because I would see a route to success. I would see a route to actually play time, a lot of it.
Do you know who might be a good fit? Maybe Pittsburgh, because they like to play tough. They like to. That's that again. What they're renowned for.
that again fits really well because a lot of the games, a bit like Buffalo, a lot of the games in Pittsburgh are going to be in the cold, particularly quite quickly after September. And once that cold weather hits, big bruising running backs work very, very well in situations like that. They really come into their own. Just flicking our screen back on behind me, so apologies about that, but it will come back on. Right. But yeah, he's a fabulous fit. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL draft's what 8-9 days away now, so there's some excitement finally for us all to get involved, and we can see the landing spots.
Look at you in the back.
On there in the background.
Yeah, well, we'll leave you there. There you go. That'll do.
All right.
Yeah, there's some excellent landing spots for him. It will depend. They're not huge. There's not a huge amount. There are some really worrying spots for him, for Taylor. He has a red flag.
What would be the worst landing spot in your opinion for Taylor?
Oh, blimey. Just to get messed up behind other really good players. I mean, put him in. He won't go there, but, put him in something like Philadelphia. That's a real mess because it's always a mess. Put him in New England with Bill Belichick. That's a mess. Much as the talent's there, you know what they're like, these kind of teams. They just mess players around. And you're frightened off from picking them before you begin. So I don't think he'll go to any of them. I mean, there's running back needy teams, and he will go off the board. But don't be surprised if he's early round 2 in the NFL draft. That's where he goes.
You'd expect him to go round 2, wouldn't you, really?
I would, and that's where I expect him to go. I think there'll be 2 to 4 running backs that go off the board, maybe even 5 in the first 3-4 rounds quite comfortably. I expect that to happen. Some good talent here. Just depends where.
Miami have got quite a few picks. I mean, they picked up Jordan Howard, who is kind of a workhorse back. He is quite of a bruiser as well. So I don't think Taylor and Howard would. I mean, they'd be quite beastly, but who's catching the ball? Howard can't see. Taylor is unproven.
It doesn't fit what they're about to do.
It doesn't seem like a good fit, does it?
No, and that's
maybe Atlanta would be.
It's a tell. It's a real tell, Al. And, that's why I don't think Miami are going to do that. I think they're going to use their picks on, offensive and defensive players in that first round, maybe trade back, get more picks. Yeah, they're going to have to play that game. They're going to have to play the longer game and then look ahead. So I don't think he's a fit there. So, it's interesting. There's very narrow window for these running backs.
It's brilliant. So
and there could be, some surprises. Some guys further down the list. I've got a few favourites. You've got some who could easily, when it's all said and done, none of these guys that are at the top of the tree might be at the top of the tree when it comes to fantasy drafts. So, really interesting.
Well, we'll wrap up on Taylor now. Obviously, we'll talk about him again when we know the landing spot, and we'll move on to the next guy. Thanks very much for watching. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe and all that good stuff for the next set of videos that are coming out.
We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching The Legion.